You're watching Soul Sisters on Pure Soul, powered by Isaac Hayes on Dash Radio. We're back. This is Soul Sisters on Pure Soul on Dash Radio. I'm Yama Brown.
I'm Heather Hayes.
And we are Soul Sisters. And we have a special guest today, Mr. TC Carson.
What's going on, ladies? Hey, how y'all doing?
Hi. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We're so glad you're here. We have been singing. Did you hear us?
That's Yama always like to sing for some godforsaken
Right,
reason. I have
and
no
I
idea
cannot
why.
sing. I did not get that. So it
It's
is.
a woo woo woo.
Yeah,
Woo, woo, woo.
it's fine though. I'm fine
She don't
with
mind.
it.
She's
I am so fine with it. I'll just go ahead and still holler.
There you
Y'all
go.
can
There
talk
you go.
about
Get
me.
in. Go
It
get
don't
in.
matter. I'll do a little shimmy, do a little background.
That's what's up.
What I
She will
need to do.
bust out in a song at any
I
moment.
I will. But no, yes, Mr. TC Carson from, we gotta say it.
Living
Single,
my favorite.
Oh yes, that's like college years.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's like, ooh.
Ooh, okay. All right then.
That's-
I'm happy for you.
Man, I would not miss living single.
Oh my gosh. That was my favorite.
Yes.
Well, I'm
Yes.
glad. I'm glad.
Yes.
Well, it's just because when I think when I think about back then, like you said, there weren't a lot of shows that reflected us.
Right.
Like I think the one before the last one I remember before that was a Cosby Show. So
Okay.
it was a big deal to see that, especially when you were a young adult, like because that was kind
Yeah.
of in the vein of kind of what you guys were living. So I really enjoyed it. So how long, just to give somebody people a point of reference, how long had you been acting before you landed that role?
Well, I started acting in grade school.
Wow.
We had, I grew up in the projects in Chicago.
Okay.
And
Damn.
went to this elementary school, and they had an after-school program. The Title VI program brought music and dance and theater to inner-city kids.
Okay.
And so I started in 7th grade, and we danced and we sang and we acted. Yes. Acted. We acted, and then I went to high school and joined the drama group there, and we started our own Black Thespians of Argo, and we made our own plays, and we toured different
Wow.
schools in Chicago, and then I went to college and studied architecture and interior design, but also did music and theater and dance, and so I've been doing this since I was a kid, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you think the climate from when you were like kind of out there auditioning as a young adult to now has changed for African Americans?
Oh, well, what do you mean by the climate?
Like, I feel like for me, I see more shows that represent us. There's more African Americans, a lot of different TV shows to me, whether it be cable or whatever. I see more of it than I would have back then. So is it easier to get jobs now, or are there more jobs available?
I don't think that it's easier. I think there are more jobs available, but I think the biggest change is that you see more people of color in the role of green lighting projects and creating projects. So when you see more people of color in those roles, then you start seeing more people of color in the movies they make.
Right.
Yes.
Right, because they're writing the roles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, for
And-
people.
And so we're actually creating more content for ourselves. And Hollywood sees that there's money in ethnicity. So they're pimping it.
Yeah.
They are. But that's what Hollywood does. They get on whatever the trend is, and they make money on it.
Yeah.
Right.
And right now, ethnicity is a trend, good or bad.
Yeah.
We're going on both sides of that.
Yeah.
So I think HBO had a series, bless you, that was on. That they was going to put on.
Nobody cares about our on-air sign, TC.
Oh,
It just, nobody cares. I did it earlier.
well, the door is open. It's not like there's a separation or nothing. I forgot what I was talking about now.
You said HBO.
Yes.
Oh, I think they were going to air a series on if slavery was still going on. It was modern day or something like that. And I think they had greenlit this project, and they had second thoughts about it after they kind of got a little backlash about it. But if we look at what's being produced today, it really is a sign of what the times and what we're going through right now.
Right.
And so the turmoil that we're seeing with race relations is going to start. It's starting to pop up on screen for us.
Yes.
And life imitates art all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that, but I think that sometimes with that, people are really afraid and resistant to look at themselves and to look at what is actually going on. Like they sit in denial.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is like, you're not going to tell me anything different. This is a fact. Like, it doesn't, it's just kind of like when you deal with like the Trump thing and they're like, it's the liberal media. And I'm like, no, I heard him say that myself. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so it's like, you're not going to tell me the sky is green when I clearly see it's blue. So I just think people don't like to see that reflected in their entertainment, because that's an escape for some people. They don't like to see reality in their entertainment.
Well, then turn the channel.
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
Good answer.
Because really, life imitates art. Life always shows up in our art, be it good or bad. So when it's happy, you see happy stuff. When it's not, you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just what it is. The artists create from their experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So speaking of creating, not just acting, but
Wait a minute, I'm
music.
loving this music in the
Look,
background though.
Look.
I love you anyway.
All right now.
All right. A little shocker in the background. Come on. Okay, now what were you saying? I'm sorry. I'm back.
We talking about you and your music.
What you talking about?
I'm talking about your jazz music. What's going on now? What you doing?
Well, we working
Tell
on
us all about it.
we're working on a new project now. I got 2 projects out.
Okay.
First one is called Truth.
Okay, that's your people.
David.
That's
your people.
And I'm gonna talk to him when we leave here. That's my dude. What's up? Y'all funny over here. I got to come back and see y'all.
We having fun.
Now, what was the question?
We're talking about your music. You have
The
2
music.
projects.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I got 2 projects out. The first one is called Truth. It's an original music album, and I wrote that with Andre Simone. You got real good people playing on that. Patrice Rushen is on that album, and Ndugu Chancellor is on that album. Byron Miller is on that album. That's all original stuff. The second album is TC Carson Live in Beverly Hills, and that's a combination of some cover stuff and some of my stuff from the first album, but it's a live album.
Okay.
We filmed it at a club called Home, House of Music and Entertainment in Los Angeles.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
The third album is going to be a kind of a mix-up. We recorded a live album this past year at 800 East.
Okay.
And so we're going to use part of the live album, and then we're going to do some in-studio stuff as well.
Okay.
So it's going to be a combination album.
So is that it? What's your first love? Acting
Music.
or music?
Music.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a place where acting, especially film and television, acting, somebody else always has a final say in what you look like or what it is. No matter what take you thought was good, they will take the take that works for them.
Right.
So you have no control over that. Same thing in theater. The writer is writing this play and they have a certain intent for what you're trying to do, so you have to show up and do that. And the directors want you to do it the way they want you to do it. When I get on stage and sing, I sing like I want to sing.
Yeah, they can't control
and
that.
You can't tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. So it's the only place I have complete control.
Yeah.
And as an artist, you want to be able to give what you're receiving in a way that is untainted. You know, and so I get to do that on stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've actually seen you before, like a while ago. So it's a good.
Did you see me?
It was in it used to be called Jazz. It's on Sundays.
Here in Atlanta.
In Atlanta?
Union City, yes.
In
I think-
Union City?
Yeah, they did a jazz thing on Sundays. So I saw, because I sing, so. Yeah.
Oh,
But
at the
it's
car
called-
dealership.
It's called something that they used to
Yeah.
air live on the jazz station. Yes, I saw you there.
Yeah.
Awesome
That
guys.
was fun. That was fun.
What, in Union City, you said?
Yeah, they used to do it every
Oh,
Sunday.
okay.
Almost every Sunday, and it would be live show, and you could actually listen to it on the radio, or you could come in here.
Oh, okay.
Small in-house audience.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yep.
cool. That would have been Decent.
Yeah, so
He talking.
you
he
might need to
talking
read
folks
some
on-
of that because they got a whole bunch of people saying
Right.
stuff over there.
Oh, okay. We got people talking. Folks
Yes, people are
saying a
talking
whole
to him.
bunch of Original Memphian? Is that a word?
It is now.
Reading, working in the ATL. Oh, this person is originally from Memphis, and they say you're a national treasure.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you. I'm a national treasure. All right.
All right, so
that's a
now
new one.
speaking of, okay, because you're so talented. We can go all over the place with you.
Yes.
So now your film that came out, Brick.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit more about this movie.
Well, Brick is about a young man who gets diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and I play his therapist.
Okay.
And it is about his journey and dealing with his illness, and the fact that I have history with his family that he kind of doesn't know, and he finds that out later on.
Oh. So, okay.
So is the person who's needing the therapy, are they African American?
Yes.
Does it touch on the fact that a lot of times African American, our community doesn't like to deal with therapists or therapy?
Well, that's what I'm hoping the film will do. I hope it will spark a conversation and let people know that it's okay to go and talk to a therapist. I went to a therapist when I came here to ATL, and I tell you, it is the best decision I have ever made in my life.
Say that again.
Say that again.
It is the best decision
Well, I ain't really laid on nobody's
made
couch.
in my
Yeah,
life.
but I probably need to soon. But
Well, I look at it like this. People say you go to, come on, give me some.
Yeah, I have. I've done marital counseling, individual counseling.
I know I probably just because of the whole Isaac Hayes is your daddy thing. I know I need to, so I just ain't done it yet.
You
but
just need to lay on somebody's couch and just talk about
yes,
that.
yes.
Yes, there's so much there.
Then you should go. Then it'll do you good. I tell people, people say you need to go to church. I say, yeah, you go to church, you talk to your pastor, talk to God, and then you go to your therapist and talk to her what you talk to God and your pastor about.
Right.
Yes.
And she can give you some practical things to help you move forward.
Right.
She or he.
Yeah.
Mine is a she.
Why do you think that our community is so resistant to that, though?
I think it's embarrassing to people. I think having somebody in their family that is not up to par could be embarrassing. And we have been about saving face for a long time.
Yeah.
When you say up to par, you mean just because mentally they
Yeah.
may have challenges? Because it's interesting. I mean, we are okay with somebody having diabetes.
Come on.
We're okay with somebody having high blood pressure. We're going to keep on eating.
know
and
my sugar.
Why not just take the pill?
Not my sugar.
You know my sugar.
Right. But if
Why you eating
somebody
that
is
pie?
mentally
Yeah.
ill.
Well,
or-
that's Aunt Jenny. She a little.
Yeah, she a little off.
Yeah, but
What is off?
But they don't know because she's never been diagnosed.
Yeah. That's sad,
She's
though.
never been diagnosed.
That's
if they
right.
would get her diagnosed, maybe they can get her some help and she won't be that off.
Right, and now on top of that, if they're diagnosed, then they have to deal with issues.
Yes.
People don't want to deal with family
Well,
issues.
that's a whole different.
Oof.
See, that's not this movie.
Yeah, 'cause the
That's
the
a
minute you start
whole
wrangling the whole family
nother
and counseling, that's a
thing.
whole different
No,
thing.
But it's important, right? Because a lot
Absolutely.
of times, okay, so let me just, and I'll talk about it a little bit. So my ex-husband, he was murdered. And so my kids were 7 and 9 when he was murdered. And so my son just recently came to me and said that he's been dealing with anger a lot because he was so young when his dad passed. He wanted to learn how to deal with the anger of it all. And he was like, he feels that it's hindering him. So he,
How old is he?
17.
That's good that he realized that is so good.
Yes.
Yes.
And let me tell you, so he started seeing a counselor once a week. And I mean, they had grief counseling before when they were much younger, going through losing a parent. It's a lot. But before they would start him, they had to meet with the parent.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to meet with me. So I had my own little counseling session
Oh.
with the lady. So let me tell you, we were talking about him, but it ended up being, and she
ended
started
up being
asking
like,
me quick
"Ooh,
right
ooh, ooh."
about my stuff. And I'm like, child. And so it was the best thing ever. I was like, woo, I'm so glad I came.
You felt a lot better, didn't
Like
you?
it was for me, but it really did relieve so much.
Yeah.
And I hadn't gone to counseling or a therapist in many years, but I just was like, heck, I'm missing a lot.
Yeah.
It's different talking to somebody who has no dog in the fight.
Yes.
They just want to see you get well. They don't know your people. They ain't trying to get you to donate no money.
Yeah.
They just want to help you out. And it's something about that space that they create for you where you can just totally show up and be who you are.
Yeah. It's definitely important. I wish we would talk about it more in our community and definitely get help.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm hoping the movie does. I hope it makes people talk to each other about it and talk to your kids about how they're feeling and what's going on with them.
Yeah.
That's where it starts, is about communication.
So when
Yeah.
is the movie being released?
Oh, it's out now.
Oh, it's already out.
It's
Okay.
out now in select theaters across the country. If you go to brickmovie.com, it will show you, and put your zip code in, it'll show you where it's playing in your area.
Oh, okay. So my question is, how do you balance movies and television and music and all that? Like, that's a lot.
In life.
Yeah.
I mean, you regular life.
Some
You
people
want the
struggle
real
with the
answer? You want the answer I'm going to give you?
We want the real answer.
real
No, I ain't
answer
going to give you
here.
that one. No, actually, I meditate and I eat healthy.
That just means he be cussing folks out.
Right.
Like,
He
you
be
finna get it when
yelling
we
at
leave.
people. Like, you ain't do what you supposed to do.
No, just my publicist. That's all. But he yells back, so it's all good.
I know that one yell back. For sure. He got some tough clients.
It's a wonder he ain't got all gray hair. Yeah. That's a lot
He
of
don't
work.
have no hair.
See, I wouldn't have said it.
That's why you shaved it off. He shaved it off, so his hair would be gray.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my goodness.
So do you have any live performances as far as your album and stuff coming up, especially in the Atlanta area?
Not quite yet. We haven't booked anything yet. I just booked the Jazz Festival at the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles this summer.
Oh, awesome.
We're doing a tribute to Ndugu Chancellor. He passed this year. He's a world famous drummer.
Okay.
And so myself, Patrice Rushen, I'm not sure who else she's going to have on stage with us, but I think that's going to be really fun. That's in June.
Okay.
Okay, well, y'all make sure you look out for that.
Yeah,
And
LA
we will
will
make
have to
sure
look.
you guys know when we're performing here so you can let your people know and y'all can come out.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I
come
want to see
on.
you in the. I
Now I
want
get
to
to
see
see
you in
you
the house.
again since I know you now. And when I first saw you, I didn't know you, but now. But you know what's so funny?
What?
When I think about it, I think I met you with someone who used to sing for her dad.
Who?
Her name is Sheila. I thought I met you some.
Sheila Weeks.
Yeah.
Sheila Weed.
That's my girl.
Sheila Weed.
That's my girl.
Sheila, you hear that? Hey, Sheila.
You don't even know. You don't even know Sheila
I
Weed.
do know Sheila
And
Weed.
I went to school together.
really?
We went to college
Really?
together. We used to sing together and win all the talent shows.
Seriously?
Seriously.
I didn't know that, but I met
Seriously.
you with her.
Isn't
Like
that
you were with her,
crazy?
and I was out someplace. You guys were eating lunch or dinner, and I came up. She was like, Heather. And I ran into you guys, and because I used to dance for her dad, and so that's how I
Okay.
met Sheila.
And as many times as I saw your dad perform, I never got to meet him.
Really?
When I would get backstage, he'd be gone.
Honey,
Oh.
and honey,
I'm surprised.
that roller set was dry. He was ready to go.
He'd be bounced out.
Because usually that process was long as I don't know what.
Yeah.
You be back there forever, like for real.
Yeah, he got to sit under the dryer
I
after
know.
every show.
I know. I know.
dry it
I've
out.
never seen anything like
You
it.
gotta
You gotta
dry
get
it
a
out.
whole roller set
and dry it.
and dry it before you walk out.
Because
Yes.
it's got to be right, baby.
Well, also
to be
too. I mean,
right.
Heather, you know he was sweated out.
That's what-
And then your hair's wet
Yeah.
and you going out. That's not really good.
Well, you know what? This is the thing. The one thing that I did learn from your father is the amount of pride that they had for the presentation on stage and off stage, whether you were traveling or whatever,
Exactly.
is completely different than now.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, some folks would have put a hat on with that wet hair and gone about their business. He was not having it. For the same reason we couldn't wear tennis shoes or jeans in the airport.
Come
like
on.
he didn't play that.
Mr. Brown
So-
didn't play that. Mr.
I
Brown
can't
did
wear
not play
jeans
that.
ever. Let me just say that. It wasn't even safe around the house. It wasn't safe. We wasn't safe. But yeah, no. Yeah, it was it was a long time after stage with him. After
Which
that
is-
was
that's
like
unfortunate that you didn't get to meet him.
And I must have seen him at least 4 or 5 times.
really.
Because Sheila.
Yeah.
And whenever she was in the
that's
town with her, I would go and see
right,
the show. Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know how that slipped Bye.
Sheila messed that one up. You gotta say something to her.
Oh.
She was supposed to be on it.
Yeah, she went on top of that.
She
at
thought
all.
he was gonna live forever, like everybody else. I mean, like, come on,
Well,
man. What did you wait for?
He kind of acted like it.
You are killing me right now, and I heard you.
He acted like it.
Yes, he most certainly did.
He was performing like it.
So I do have a question. So this is a soul station. Of course, it's called Pure Soul Powered by Isaac Hayes. What were some of your influences as, even if it was jazz, as a singer, songwriter?
Oh, okay. Well, wow. How do you do that? Okay. So, short answer. I learned there was a different way to sing because of Al Jarreau. I grew up in Baptist church, and we were riffing and running, and I'm not a riffer and runner. I don't hear it like that.
Yeah.
And when I first heard Al, and he was singing, but he was doing instruments, he was making sounds. It was more using his voice like an instrument. I went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so I started doing that, and then people started saying, well, you sound just like Al Jarreau. And so I stopped singing Al Jarreau.
Because you kind of want to have your own identity.
I didn't want to sound like him.
Yeah.
So, and then I heard Bobby McFerrin. And how his voice is a real instrument, and how he uses all parts of his voice. So I incorporated that along with listening to Earth, Wind & Fire and Isaac Hayes. And then when you go...
But that voice is real Isaac Hayes-ish.
Oh, I'm thinking about doing some of his stuff, actually. On not this album, but the next album.
You would kill it.
I think it's time for the baritone to come back.
Yes.
I really, really do. All this... can I say shit on the radio?
Yes.
Okay, all this high shit.
Right.
We need some bottom in it. We need a little bottom. We need a little bottom on that. But jazz, we're talking about Billy Eckstine and Arthur Prysock, Ella, Sarah, Nancy.
And it's funny, Nancy Wilson was one of the first people my dad was like, listen to her. Because when I was like, I want to be a singer, and the only thing I knew was Whitney Houston at that time.
Right.
So he was like, nah, listen to this.
Her tone.
Yes.
Her phrasing.
Yeah.
Her storytelling.
Guess who I saw today is my favorite.
Ooh.
The best.
You see her making that drink for him.
Yes.
You see her sitting there.
Painting that picture.
Oh my
And
gosh.
after she said it was you see her taking that drink.
That was my favorite.
I'll do
You
that
caught.
again.
I saw you. That's the last thing she says. You caught, brother. She probably beat him down after that, but that was my
Beat him
favorite.
down.
No, he said, oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby, please.
Hilarious. Oh my God, y'all best.
Well, those are some great artists though. Like, because a lot of people don't, like, honestly, if I didn't have my parents say, hey, listen to this, I'm not sure if I would have reached back, necessarily to listen to that. So,
Well,
Maybe not.
I grew up like,
Yeah.
My mother on Saturdays, it was just her and I. So on Saturdays, after the cartoons went off, she got up, turned TV off, and the music came on. And that's what she played. She played Sarah and Billy and Coltrane and Miles and all those people,
do you have any favorites like now? Any favorites now?
That's out now, you
That's
mean?
out now.
Oh, yeah.
I love, what is his name? I see his face with it on the ears. Gregory Porter.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I like
I
Gregory
saw him
Porter.
last year. Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
I like Raheem Devon.
Yes.
Okay.
I also like Robert Glasper.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
like what he's doing.
Didn't he win a Grammy? Did he win a Grammy?
I think he did.
I think he did.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
Robert did win a Grammy, yeah. He'll be here, I think, March
Yeah, he's awesome
at
too.
City Winery, yeah. Well, he just got that plug, didn't he?
And City Watery.
Yeah, you brought
Right,
that up.
right. Y'all need to bring me in. What else am I talking? What else
Those
we
you just
doing?
named some great artists
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And female, I love Ledisi.
Oh well,
Ledisi is
she's
a
like unreal.
beast. She is
I was looking at
and
her
the
like, did she
sweetest
just
lady.
sing that? Did that just come out of her
Yeah, it did.
throat?
Effortless. I haven't
Yes.
seen anybody sing like that since Shaka Khan.
Yeah.
Since Shaka in her
Yeah.
early days when she would just sit there and scream on you and wouldn't be
Sweat,
sweating.
nothing.
Nothing.
Did you see her interview with when Steve Harvey asked her what was missing in music today?
Who's Shaka Khan?
Yeah.
What'd
Yes,
she
I
say?
did.
She said talent.
Talent.
Oh,
I was like, oh.
On that
And we're
note,
going to commercial.
On that note, I was about to say, on that note, I think we're going to go out right now with a little Kool and the Gang and Hollywood Swinging. And then we'll be back.
Hollywood swinging. Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk about this Grammys here.
She's like,
So what'd you think about the Grammys? We said it. I don't know if you heard our little commentating earlier, but we were talking about it a little bit and what our thoughts were. And then we also talked about the fact that, did you watch it? First, let me ask you that.
I watched parts of it.
Parts of it.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
so what were your highs and what were your
Yeah,
lows?
let me ask you, how did you think Alicia did hosting?
I thought Alicia did a good job.
Okay.
The rocking got to me a little bit.
Oh, I said the same thing. I said, I'm going to need
but
you to
that's
stay
nervous.
still.
That's that. She was just nervous.
She was like, I was like, okay. I feel like they needed to move the camera with her. Like, hey, come on, Alicia. It was funny because I was like, she's rocking.
Yeah.
Because I do that a lot. I rock when I talk, and it's difficult.
Distracting.
I thought she kept the vibe up. It was very happy vibe. You know, there was no darkness, which was great.
Yeah.
And she looked good. She looked great. So I think she did a really good. And the two piano thing, I think she killed it.
Man.
She killed it.
Yes.
Yeah.
She did kill that. So Alicia, she did good as the host.
But yet again, Black Twitter was wearing her out.
Why?
Wearing Alicia?
Oh my gosh.
Why?
What'd they say?
She sound flat. Mind you, they at the house on the couch and can't sing nothing.
She
but we
sound
just,
flat.
but it's just like I said, it's just the nature of who we
well,
are.
First of all, she sound.
Exactly. Doesn't mean
flat.
she was.
No, but she doesn't. She sounds flat.
Yeah.
Right.
Not she
Sound
sound.
flat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it
She
there.
sound flat.
I'm
That's what-
gonna leave it there.
Those were the posts that I was
I'm
singing.
gonna leave it there.
And I was like, can you just say she did a great job? Like,
First of all, this lady, excuse me, but hosted the whole show.
By
She was
herself.
doing stuff that y'all can only dream about.
like I said, they were at the crib on the couch.
Right. You better stop.
And ain't never seen the inside of an award show.
Better stop. Better stop. Better
Yeah.
stop. But anyway, yeah, she did a good job. J-Lo. Before we get to J-Lo.
Cardi B did a good job.
Cardi B did a great job. I enjoyed
Cardi B did a good job. It was a little.
Too risque for you?
Just a little bit.
But this is the
for
thing.
You know, just a little bit. But that's what music is
Yeah.
right now.
Well, that's,
So,
I think that's what the subject matter. But what I liked about it was, even though it was hip hop and it was rap, it was thought put into that.
yes,
Like it was some stuff going on.
Yes.
There
Right,
was
they
some
weren't just
choreography.
going back and forth
Yeah.
across the stage.
And,
talking about,
and it wasn't just or bent over just twerking.
Right.
Yeah,
aimlessly.
no, there was choreography, and she did. I think she did a really good job.
I thought, oh, you actually put some thought, like it was the theme, the piano, the finger waves. Like I was like, I get it. I get where we're
Yeah.
at. So
Yeah.
it's like, this is a good thing to see somebody actually have, an effort put in their production value
Yeah.
as to
Gotcha.
what they're doing. So I think she did an awesome job.
Yeah, I definitely do.
What do you all think of the Aretha tribute?
I thought that was good.
I thought it was good. I feel like it could have been more, I don't know if I want to say production, but I feel like that should have been a bigger tribute, personally, to me, because
I
of what
agree
she's
with you.
given to R&B music, and she's gone. So I feel like they could have, kind of stretched that out. Like I feel like you could have just swapped it, done Aretha, and made the
I
Motown
understand
smaller.
why they keep on asking the same people to do stuff, or are they asking folks and they saying no?
No,
Well,
they're
that's
just
Aretha,
asking the
though.
same people.
Yeah.
I mean, because Yolanda, and I love Yolanda Adams, but she had everything. If you need somebody to sing, that's who you call. Yolanda Adams don't matter if it's gospel.
But is it because vocally, like,
She's a beast.
she's a beast? Like,
She's a beast.
She
but it was like
is.
Lettucey could have been there for that. Like
I
there's some
would've
other
loved to
people.
see
Yeah, it was
Lettucey,
some
yeah.
other people. It was always Fantasia now. Fantasia gonna shake them shoes off and give you a scream and keep pushing because she was good. Like, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I just think that they kind of pigeonhole us, and this is the black person for that, and
Well, again, I think it goes to who's making the decisions.
yes,
And the people that are making the decisions aren't necessarily connected to the community.
yes.
So they're making decisions on what they think the community wants, but they're not necessarily
But I'm gonna need
connected
them to ask somebody in the community.
Yeah, well, that part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
I
So
don't care
we're gonna
nothing about
move
what
on
we
to
think.
the elephant in the room. The J-Lo performance.
That's the elephant in the room.
The Motown Tribute
Dun, 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 dun,
that
dun.
J-Lo did.
Yes. So
Jenny from the Bronx.
we're just going to let our lovely guest
Ha, 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 ha.
go ahead and voice his opinion.
That's the
Tell us what you think about
Tell me what
J-Lo's
you really
role.
think.
Okay, so
He
He'll
took
take
off his
glasses for
glasses.
this.
He took off his
Okay, y'all.
glasses.
I love Jennifer Lopez. Everybody loves Jennifer Lopez. And the performance was a good performance.
It was.
It was a good performance. Was it Motown? Not in my eyes.
Okay.
Motown had a different look to it. It was a different aesthetic. It was just about something different, and that to me didn't speak to Motown. It was a good performance, but yeah, it just wasn't. There were so many other people that I would have loved to have seen that were around when Motown was out. You know, Gladys could have been there. We had Smokey, but there were so many other people that could have been around that could have really
Right.
brought some history to that moment. You know, but they
Yeah.
chose who they chose.
Heather, you mentioned that she does a Motown tribute
She
in
does.
her Vegas
She
show.
does like Jackson 5. She does a lot of that stuff in her Vegas show. So I personally feel like the producers were like, "Oh, we don't have to put
Jackson
nothing
5,
together."
they still alive, ain't they? They could have had them.
Exactly.
Where?
Yep. Exactly.
Where was Tito and Jermaine?
Where?
Y'all ain't want to come to the show. Y'all tired of them folks, ain't
Reby
y'all?
could have come. You could have brought Reby in.
It's just so many choices.
That's what I'm saying.
It was a lot of choices that they could have had. I feel like that was laziness. I feel like the producers were like, we really don't have to put anything together. This is already done. It's already put together. We can just plop it here and bam, you have a Motown tribute, which I think is ridiculous. I just think it wasn't Motown. That was a huge change in R&B music. Like, I don't, it's historical. I don't understand why you
The
would do that.
Motown sound.
That's just crazy. And it's
Right.
forever, it will forever live on. And that was not it.
Well, they didn't put the camera on Barry Gordy too much during that
No,
performance.
they did not. You noticed that too. You noticed that
And then
too.
I'm going to need, what's Diana Ross's daughter? Not Tracy, the other one who sings. I'm going to need her to be off her phone. Did you see the meme? She was on her phone like, I was like, ooh, Rhonda.
I did see that.
Rhonda, get
I
off your
did
phone.
see that.
And now it is a meme. Like,
I'm gonna make you put your phone down.
and the meme was like, this is what Rhonda thought about the J-Lo performance. They have a picture of her on her phone. I was like, see, don't play them games. I knew it was going to happen.
Somebody's always
I'm like,
watching.
is she on the phone with all these cameras?
Yeah, she was on the phone.
But it was just, to me, it was disrespectful. I felt like whether they intended it to be disrespectful, it disrespects the culture. Because you got to think, at that point, black people can even halfway be on albums.
Right.
That was the first time that you could see some black people on an album.
Yeah.
And initially when they started, they weren't on the album.
Right.
right.
So it's like, why would you do that? Why would you take that away from us?
Because you can.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Because you
Because
can.
it was
and then I feel-
CBS
and I feel bad
executive
because-
producers.
Okay,
and-
my publicist is looking at me right now. We need to change the subject.
Oh,
Because he's looking at me and he's hoping I won't say anything I'm not supposed to say.
You're not going to say anything.
Oh,
you're
you
not
We'll say
never
it
know.
for you.
You know.
Yeah,
I
it
had a
was just-
cocktail before I came. You never know.
we have them in here sometimes, and this
Right.
one over here be like, okay, so cut her off.
Right, but today I didn't.
Not today?
I had my Canada Dry.
Not today?
I needed it.
You didn't
Well,
need
you
it.
didn't know I was coming.
This is mellow.
Wow.
And it's on what you would have got with the cocktail in her hand. So that would have
I'm
been the
ready.
best.
I'd have had one too.
Right,
We'd have been fine.
And I'd
What
been
about
sitting-
you?
I'd have been sitting here
Well-
looking at y'all like,
right. And then David would have been mad at us because
Yeah.
we would have been loose lipped.
Yeah.
That would not have
This
been
is
good.
true.
Yes.
That would not have been
think
good.
about what your daddy would have said had he seen a Motown. That's like having a James Brown
Ooh.
tribute and,
Ooh.
you know,
Ooh.
a white pop star doing a James Brown tribute.
Well, I was about
Justin
to say,
Timberlake.
right. That's like Usher still, being
Yeah.
around and you be like, I think we'll ask Justin.
Yeah.
Although Dad did stuff with Justin. So,
They don't
you know,
trust
but-
me. Your daddy was like, NASA. That's what he would have said. NASA.
Why they do that?
Why they do that?
Why they do that? And the bear was there. Why they do that? that's she's a very nice lady. Very nice lady. That wasn't right what they did.
Oh my gosh. The
You
invitations can
channeling
go
right
on
now. You
forever.
channeling right now.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't well, I mean,
But I think overall it was a good show.
Yes.
To me, I just wish that they would have had more R&B performers. More so than just, because they had a lot of pop performers. I mean, they had a lot of country, a lot of hits, but like I didn't understand.
There was a lot more country this year.
Yes.
I feel like performed than normally.
Yeah, but now
normally televised.
Let me just say there were
a
lot of, and I would say on the hip hop side, a lot of them turned down being there. They were kind of semi-boycotting that.
Why?
Because they feel like the culture, as far as the hip hop culture, is not truly represented. At the Grammys, and so. Because like I said, a lot of people had issue with Cardi B winning, album of hip hop or rap album of the year.
What?
And I just think that it's just, the thing about it is that it's voted on by the peers. And so I feel like people don't understand that when you are voting on a Grammy, you're not solely, even though maybe you should be, you're not solely voting on just the body of work. It's like performances. It's things that probably come to mind when you're looking at the album. And it was a good album. It was a good rap album. But they're like, that's not true hip hop. So some people boycott it, which is why they cut Drake off in the middle of his speech.
And that was the first time he had been at the Grammys in years.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he was basically saying, because they don't feel as though the Grammy supports the hip hop culture. And so that's why they've chosen not to go,
Well, I don't know. Travis Scott was in a cage. TC leaving us. Well, he said I'm doing too much. Did y'all see Travis Scott in the cage?
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? And then
Girl,
he jumped out in the audience.
we
He
just
had on no
old.
shoes. I was like, he got on socks. What is going on this stage right now?
Y'all, but we just
I thought it was
old.
just me.
He got on socks?
Right. And I mean, I like, you know what? I like rap. I listen to it. I got
Kids that-
teenagers.
listen to it.
Love Travis, all of that. I mean, Carrington had a choice to go see him or Drake. Went to see him. Went to see Travis. And I'm like, between the Super Bowl performance
Yeah.
and this, I'm like, what was going on?
He was confused.
Did he not rehearse or? But I mean,
What you mean? That was the show.
no, I ain't talking about the Grammys. I'm talking about the Super Bowl.
Well, that's a whole nother fiasco.
Yeah, that was something else. That
Yeah.
wasn't.
Well,
that
tell me
wasn't
what
right.
you thought about that.
Trying to put me on the spot.
No, I'm just asking a question.
The Grammy, well, the Super Bowl performance, I just don't think it was that good.
It wasn't. It needs to be a spectacle. Like, if we're going to do the Super Bowl, we need to be reminiscent of, Michael Jackson or Prince with Rain coming out of nowhere or
Yeah,
something.
I just feel like it wasn't it just
was
wasn't
missing
enough.
that. Because to me, I like Maroon 5, but that's not a performance. I would have rather seen J-Lo on the Super Bowl than on the Grammys. It would have been a better show.
It would have been a better show.
It would have been a better show. And then I feel like culturally, you are in Atlanta, Georgia. When I tell you that show could have been spectacular,
Yeah.
but it was too many of us on the stage. But you really could have gotten, honestly, you could have gotten Pink. You could have gotten TLC, Outkast.
Maybe we say some of that, but we don't know everybody that would have performed. A lot of people turned that down.
A lot of people turned it
And
down.
some people might have turned it down, but I think that some of the ATL artists might have showed up for that, because when it was that was one of the main reasons why Jermaine even did the shows at Centennial.
I don't know if they would have showed up. Big Boy got some flack for even performing.
But this is okay. So let me just say this: with that, I need to know what I'm boycotting. So am I boycotting so Colin can get his job back, or am I boycotting because you
There's
took away the
racial-
right? You took away the right for him to protest, or are we boycotting police brutality?
You boycotting police brutality.
Okay, but see, this is the thing. When you ask people, they
the-
don't even know.
Well, because people don't pay attention to anything. That, first of all, we know that's what Colin was standing up for. The fact that they're going to tell you that you got to stay in the locker room or be fine, you can't kneel. Like, that's my choice. If I want to kneel,
to me, that's
I
where
can kneel. That's not
where the issue.
disrespectful.
But that's where, to me, that's what we're boycotting. But I asked somebody who was ranting and raving about Big Boy on the Super Bowl. So when Colin gets a job playing football again, are you gonna watch? Because he clearly wants to play again.
He does.
So, you know what I mean? So, and the thing about it is when you really research how these owners treat football players, this ain't nothing new.
No, it's not.
No, it's
That's
not.
Because the
thing.
first time that I saw them actually doing the trade, I was horrified. I was
It's
not
like slave auctioning.
Yes.
It's
So
not
like a slave auction.
It's not anything new, but I also feel like sometimes you do have to stand up, and there is power in numbers.
I agree,
Are
but
we going to make a huge impact on the? Well, I say we, but people that are are boycotting. Are you going to make a huge? Who knows?
no, what
But-
needs to happen is the players need to be like, we're not playing.
But that's what I was saying, because the
See,
thing
that-
of it
that
is
part.
that how can we boycott something that you work on the
Right.
team?
And that was my
and
point.
you
You're not
ain't
even boycotting.
boycotting.
Like, if you're not going to stand up for yourself, how do you want us to
Right,
stand
can't
up for
nobody
you?
come on my job and be like, girl, you ain't paying her enough.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. So why am I going to go to your job and do all of that stuff?
Because the reality of it is that would shut it all down.
Right.
That ends everybody's
Well, I
money.
said that earlier. I mean, if the league is what, 80% black?
Yes. 78% black, but
Okay.
80. Yeah.
So if the brothers just all got sick Monday night
Yeah. And be
Like they-
and take the
like-
fine,
Like they did with the shutdown.
and you just take the fine.
yeah. You can
take
afford
the
to take the fine.
That's what I say. You can afford to take the fine. Take the fine. If you shut down one Sunday night football or one Monday night football across this
It's a
country,
wrap.
they would come to the table.
That
They're
would be so
losing
cool.
millions
They
of
would come
dollars.
to the table and talk. And if they don't, start your own league.
Yeah.
Right.
People will watch.
Bounce out.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, and that
Absolutely.
was so. My thing is I understood people upset with Big Boy. I mean, you have your right to feel how you feel, but I was like, you got to really think about it logically, and we need to have a some kind of focus on what is it that we are boycotting, so it can be kind of clear cut. Because you're boycotting watching football, but when Collins start playing again, what you gonna do?
That's what somebody's saying. And then one girl, church girl for life, said they need minority owners. Just what you said.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, Puffy
Absolutely.
trying that. They trying to not let him
Oh
in.
yeah, they don't want.
They don't
well,
want that.
It can
But
be done.
It's
Look.
gonna happen though.
It's all a good old boy network
Yeah.
right now, and the good old boys are dying out.
Yeah, it's gonna
So
happen.
it's changing. Everything is changing.
They're
Yep.
all gonna come in their crib walking and going to buy a team and be mad.
Not crip.
Yes.
Why they got a crip?
Get over it. That's what's
Why-
gonna happen. That's
It's
what's
gonna
gonna
be
happen.
so turned.
Puffy gonna be
want
like,
this
take that,
It's
take
gonna
that,
be
take
so
that,
turned.
take that, take that, take that. We're rooting for you, Puff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you're
All right.
silly.
This has been a great show. We have enjoyed having you
Thank
on.
you so much.
I've had a great time. Call me back. Call me back.
Okay, good.
Definitely.
Good. Well, we looking for that Living Single reboot.
Look on.
He just shut our dreams down.
No, I'm gonna tell you, like I tell everybody, I have been neither contacted nor contracted.
Doesn't mean it's not gonna happen.
Don't mean it's not gonna happen. I don't know nothing
We
about
can
it.
keep
The
hope alive.
people want it.
Yeah, keep
The
hope
people
alive.
want it. The people want it. They rebooting everything else.
I
Reboot
know.
the good stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna go out right now.
Shay, please, please go out.
With a little Earth, Wind, and Fire and Shining Star.
Love it.
You're watching Soul Sisters on Pure Soul, powered by Isaac Hayes on Dash Radio.